And with that out of the way, hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play... I nearly said Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And my dog is barking. Yeah, come on mate, easy! I thought this game was meant to be hard. Why didn't I get that back, Seb? And hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last episode, we got here to Firelink Shrine. In this episode, we're going to get everything done that we can do here for the most part, and doing some other things. But first, I will say, I managed to mess up already and ruin the second recording. This episode was already recorded, but I'm having to re-record it. And because I'm not playing the PC version and can just save scum, I had to redo this character quickly. But don't worry, the odds are that's not going to happen again. I've kind of worked out a system where I won't be losing recordings all the time anymore. Kind of just getting used to my new capture equipment and stuff. But I think I've worked out what's wrong. But yeah, you might notice a couple differences. The main one being people running past my house repeatedly with loud noises. No. Is that I've got 10 Estus flasks. Before, the maximum was 5, but I'll tell you right now, it's from sitting at this bonfire. This bonfire is a bit more powerful than the rest because of something I'll show you in a bit. But for now, just know that there's a few bonfires in the game that automatically start off giving you 10, although be aware that you can upgrade all bonfires to give you more Estus. But for now, let's talk to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So, already we have a decent amount of knowledge about what we're supposed to be doing here, which is nice. A damn sight more than the second game gives you. But no, we're going to want to talk to him a bit more.
You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
And with that, we already have a decent amount of information about returning our humanity and so what. And speaking of humanity, here's some humanity, and I figured I might as well look at that now. Rare, tiny, black sprite found on corpses used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? And I just walked off the edge. Why the hell did I do that? I was too busy engrossed in lore, clearly. Well, I'm keeping that in. No reason to cut that. Yeah, luckily loading times are quick. And look, this is what your souls look like when you die, I guess. It's a good thing I didn't restore my humanity before I did that. Yeah, you just regain all your souls. No real penalty for death as long as you don't muck up twice in a row. Yeah, be careful of clips in future, clearly. So that's a good start to this playthrough, I guess. Already walking off cliffs. I think there's a bit of noise in my house at the moment, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. We got some fire bombs, which are just throwing weapons that explode, do fire damage. Very precious item at low levels, that is true. They don't become very useful later on, but for now they're actually a godsend. And now we're going to quickly talk to this guy.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted.
I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Sorry about that, I just had to quickly go check something. It's fine now. Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Hello there.
Just keep talking to this guy. He's a bit of a
I
bum.
also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will.
How is it not ill will to say go away?
As a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Copper coin. And this, spoiler, doesn't do anything. Even coins of great value in the world of Lordran have little value. No, in the world of men have little value in Lordran, because Lordran is not the world of men, world of undead. Where the currently accepted. I always get a bit messed up this line. Where the accepted currency is souls, those who dream of returning to the outside world of honor carrying these around. Yeah, it's useless.
Oh my. You again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Yes.
Very well.
Yes. Very
Covenant
much.
with the gods.
Yes. Now, good. Now we got a covenant. Covenants are useful
Now,
because they give you a few little benefits depending on which one you're in.
Their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts.
I mean, covenants aren't fully realised in this game. Like, there's a lot of things they could have done with them that they didn't. Also, there's a gesture. Cool gestures. But they all give you a few benefits. This one's mainly for co-op at the beginning of the game. Which is,
Come again.
because he didn't mention it.
Of the teachings depend upon your faith.
I'll just quickly show. Oops, I nearly smacked him in the face. If you see right here, Covenant, the Way of White.
Oh,
And, yep,
I will
that's the Covenant we're in at the moment. Makes it slightly easier to co-op at the beginning.
A milady and her young knights. She
Milady.
is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
Right.
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
He's got the stupid bowl haircut. Huh. Do you know what? I've never done this before. Let's do this.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to
I didn't even know this was a thing.
kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
So they're searching for the art of
Come again.
kindling.
The effective...
Actually, was that all he had to say? I might as well double check.
Very well.
Yeah, he just says the same thing again.
Come again.
So yeah, he teaches you some miracles, which if you're a faith build of any kind, because faith is required for miracles, as you will see if I go over to faith. Yep, miracles and divine weapons. But yeah, the reason the Way of White are here is that they're searching for kindling, the ability to kindle further. And as you may have guessed, the reason that the Estus Flask gets 10 charges from this bonfire is because it is more kindled than the other ones, for the moment. And we ourselves can actually kindle bonfires to at least once to give us 10 Estus. But there is a way to kindle more, which the Way of White are searching for. But I guess we'll get into that later, when the rest of his buddies show up. For now, let's look at these mysterious items that just happen to be hidden down here. I mean, who could have put them here? Let's see, crack red orbs allow you to invade the world of people and acquire humanity by killing them. So why would someone have something to mean? Oh, a talisman, i.e. the things used by clerics to cast miracles. Yeah. And the Morning Star, again, used by clerics. Huh. Curiouser. And Homeward Bones. These things are actually useful. They just let you... just get rid of all this stuff. Because we're going to actually want to put these on our hotbar. These just let us go to the last bonfire you rested at. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfire enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. Yeah, it's kind of a load of bulls, but whatever. Lloyd's Talisman. Now these are interesting as well, because they stop undead from it being able to use Estus Flasks. In the outside world, undead are accursed creatures, lloyds, elite clerics. Well, cleric knights, I don't know where I got the elite from. Are widely praised for their undead hunts. This is a blessed talisman, blocks undead recovery, allows knights to fight with impunity. So yeah, it just stops undead from being able to recover health, which is pretty mean. Utilising undead hunts, and as you'll see, this is Skeleton Town. We are not going here yet because, as I will try and show, we don't do much damage to these skeletons. You can go down there, rush, get all the items before skeletons can see you, but I'm not going to do that because I'd rather get the stuff there when we're actually capable of fighting the skeletons. And I'm quickly going to rest at this bonfire because if the skeletons get too close, you can't rest at the bonfire because, yeah. Yeah, if enemies get too close to bonfires, you can't use them to stop you from kind of laying it out and... Oh yeah, don't do what this guy did. What did he do? He did what I did, basically. He just walks off a cliff. But yeah, those are bloodstains. Those are a feature if you're connected online. They allow you to see the deaths of fellow players. Basically, you know how when I managed to fall off a cliff and I dropped my bloodstain on the floor, which had all my souls on it, as long as that remains there, people can go and look at my bloodstain and see how I died. Which is why I picked it up post-haste, because I don't want anyone to see that. Embarrassing. I just walked right off a cliff. And we're just getting little bits of souls. And these little soul items are just basically like... They just basically contain a certain number of souls, like 200 or 400, and you can just use them whenever you want to gain them into your soul counter, I guess. And they're a safe way to kind of bank souls earlier in the game, because you can pick them up as items, but you don't have to use them straight away, so you can wait till you get to a bonfire, use all your soul items, and then use them to level up, which is what we're going to do now. We're going to get all our soul items on our hotbar. And we're just going to level up. As far as I'm aware, that's all the items we can get here currently. I may be wrong, but I'm always wrong, so I can deal with it. I'm a big boy. Oh yeah, and these are messages. These ones are left by players, unlike the ones in Undead Asylum, which are mostly left by Oscar. And you can rate them as well. Press back, or select, or whatever, while you're on them, and you can rate them. And if you rate them, I think a person gets a humanity. So, you know, nice enough. And now I'm just going to very quickly go over the stats in this game. Vitality is health. Attunement is how many spell slots you can have, which is useful, again, if you're doing intelligence or faith. Not very much otherwise. Oh, a little bit, because you can do pyromancies and stuff, but again, we'll get into that later. Endurance, which is the most important stat in the game. It determines how much stamina you have, which is the green bar, which is how many actions you can do, which is obviously important. And also your equip load, which is how much stuff you can have on without like being unable to roll and stuff. Strength is wielding powerful weapons, as I said. Dexterity, wielding advanced weapons. Resistance is useless. Never level this up. I'm not even lying. Literally never level this up. Unless you're like level 900, you've got nothing else to level up. Don't level up resistance. It's a waste of a level up. Intelligence, which boosts sorceries and magic weapons, and faith, which boosts miracles and divine weapons. And for now, what we're going to do is pump it all into endurance. Because it's good. And as you see all this stuff, basically, it does everything. Endurance is OP. However, one thing I will say, that I'll make important note of, is that stats in this game stop being as effective at about level 40. That's when you probably want to stop leveling them up for the most part, unless you have a specific build in mind. Because, for example, at 40, endurance stops giving stamina and only gives equip load and bleed resistance, and a couple other things. And vitality, when you level up to 40, gives way less HP, strength gives way less bonus to your strength damage, etc, etc. So for the most part, unless you have a specific thing in mind, 40 is the level you want to get to. Especially with endurance, I'd say almost every character in the game should have 40 endurance, because that's the max stamina you can get. It gives you a good amount of equip load. And something I will show is, as you'll see at the moment, I'm walking at a decent pace. I'll show off the equip load and stuff. And I'll see here I roll kind of meh. But if I take off all my clothes, like you do, I walk a bit faster. I run a bit faster. Also, the roll is the fast roll. infinitely faster. And this is important. There's also a third tier of weight, which is like just called fat rolling, that people call it, which is basically being just slow as hell. You're probably not going to be able to get anywhere by rolling. You walk really slow, you run kind of slow. There's also technically a fifth tier, no, like a fourth tier of weight, where you can't roll at all, but you probably don't want to be there. But as for where these tiers come about, if you look at the equipped load stat here, basically fast rolling comes about between 0 and 25%, I'm pretty sure. Then medium roll comes between 25 and 50%. And then fat roll comes between 50 and 75%, and then over 75% you can't roll anymore. That might be it. Either that or it's over 100%. But either way, for the most part, if you're gonna not be, like, for the most part, most characters in this game, most people aim for fast rolling, because it makes the game way easier, makes PvP way easier. Most people aim for fast rolling. But if you're not, you probably want to get your weight to as close to 50% as possible. 50% of the second number. And the first number being, you know, how much weight you have on. So that you're not wasting it, basically. Because if you're, like, sitting here at, like, 26% weight used, and you're medium rolling, that's an utter waste. You might as well have heavier armor on, heavier weapons, all that. You might as well if you're going to be going for medium rolling. So just be aware of that. That's something the game doesn't really tell you that much about the weight tiers, which is something it should tell you, honestly, because it is a rather important aspect of the game. But I figured I might as well tell you, so at least you know. But with all that said and done, that's actually it for this episode. I've not really covered that much, but I figured I might as well get everything done here, so that we don't have to, like, keep... To be fair, we're going to keep coming back here. This is the hub, in case you didn't realise. This is the hub. We're going to be coming back here a lot, but I figured I'd get all the important stuff done right away. Although there is one little other thing I want to show off, just before the end of this episode. Just going to come down here. I don't ignore that. That's a load of bull. No response, you cannot speak. This is the firekeeper of this bonfire. Bonfires with firekeepers are inherently more kindled. The flame is bigger, they give you like 10 Estus flasks by default. Also, they can reinforce your Estus flask with firekeeper souls, but we don't have any of those, because we haven't murdered any firekeepers. And yes, she cannot speak, so good for her, she seems pretty happy. Just kidding, she seems very, very depressed about something. Maybe it's the fact she cannot speak, and what looks like dried blood is all over her skirt. Lovely. As you can tell, this is a very happy game. But yeah, again, that's all for this episode. Join us in the next episode where we will be actually doing a bit of sequence breaking and going down here below to nab a few items for this character that I want to get. And just some useful stuff. But yes, until then, see ya.